right, guys, let's go. So I am going to, oh, what's happening? I'm trying to pop the chat up, but it doesn't allow me to. What is going on? Oh, wait, there we go. No, it's not letting me. I don't know what happened. What is going on? Okay. So I guess I can't do the chat. Well, oh wait, hold on. The joint conversation with the and okay, so it says to join in chat. I have no idea, you guys. I feel like hold on, let me open the other one real quick. Maybe the other browser will help the situation a little bit. I don't know what is going on with Chrome, you guys. I feel Chrome is doing some weird things. Oh, okay. I see chat right here. All right, Manuel, what's up? Okay, good. Now it's coming. Okay, hold on 1 second, you guys. Give me 1 second. What is insanity? Okay, so what is going on, you guys? You guys. I mean, what am I supposed to be saying about, earnings? Kind of expected this. Didn't expect the convertible note again, but though, I feel like to be expected, huh? Of course, I wouldn't say I was disappointed. How can I be disappointed? It's more money to the bottom line. But short term sucks though, right? So that's why I didn't even, feel like I should be reacting to it at all. Now the earnings though, let's talk about the earnings. Of course, like people have already been covering it, and I feel like, it is a lot of things has been said already, and I feel that a lot of things that's been said is correct about this company. Of course, like I'm leaning towards the bullish side ever. I've always been bullish, and now I'm just even more bullish, right? So short term's gonna suck. Tomorrow they're gonna repricing the convertible note. So you know what happened the first time. I don't think it's going to be any different. Although they could, pull, fake you the other side too. So now I know if you buy puts today, or sometime today or tomorrow or whatever, it's printing. I didn't buy anything, so in fact I was hold on to my calls, so my calls got decimated. So but I still have some time. My calls have about 2 more months to go. So hopefully by that time, it's gonna reverse course. Am I gonna add some more to calls? I don't imagine I would do that. If I do, it was just gonna be 1 or 2, okay? So just a heads up. But hey, it is what it is. But let's just cover the earnings real quick. Phenomenal. I mean, what can I say? It's the company has been making money, even though people are saying that they don't make money. Okay. Now, the first quarter of the first ever being positive on the operational side. So now they cannot say operationally GME cannot make money. Okay. Now, there's nuance to that, right? Because when you see the post, it was like negative $10 million. Okay, all right. It's like, and then immediately, what do people do? They're like, this company is shit, right? Okay, that's fine. And subsequently, of course, the price action kind of like make people, layman people or whatever, or people who are just tired of holding the stock. Sure, right? There's probably a small amount of people who are like that. Okay, so I'm not knocking that. I'm sure some people are just fed up, already, which is okay. I mean, whatever narrative that they are, running with, they will hold on to that narrative until they cannot anymore. Okay, so but on the company side, you understand this very well if you watch me. Okay, let me read the. I expect Ryan Cohen to dilute anytime the stock is over 30. I buy in the low 20s and sell covered call in the 30s. Okay, respect that, sure. Working on have a negative cost. Okay, working on having a negative cost basis. Okay, all right. Hey, if you could do that, more power to you. For me, I just don't want to risk, the amount of shares that I have. And plus, I couldn't write covered call on those anyway. So I do that intentionally because then, I'm not tempted to write those covered call on that shares that I have on my Roth. And those are, long term. So, hey, whatever you float your boat, you could do that. Now, I don't advocate people to do anything with their investment. So if you're smart enough to figure out that, great, For me, I'm just like doing my own thing. So I know, buying calls is really very small chance that you will win. There's a larger chance that you will lose. So, but I really thought that, there's no more. I wouldn't say dilution, honestly. Like when you say dilution, it's a bit misleading, right? It's a temporarily convertible notes that are dilutive in the future, and it's the year of 2032. So it's very misleading, and of course, like yes, people are gonna run with that narrative that it is dilutive and all that stuff, but technically the float hasn't been increased yet at this moment, and so the opportunity is always still, if you want to accumulate the shares at the price, $25. Come on, oh my gosh, like are you kidding me? $25, and then if tomorrow they're gonna repricing it again, it could go down to maybe another $2 or so. Market Maker does this all the time. The last time they did it the same way. Now, if you look at the, oh goodness, every single time, you guys, every time. Anyway. So let's look at the price action real quick because there is a similarity for sure. And, whether that is going to be similar as this one right here. The minute they announced the convertible notes, the price went down like 20 something percent, right? That day. Hold on, let me see if I could measure from here to here. Yeah, around 27%. So we still might be going down there too. So let's see. Today, from here, when they announce it, right? So 25%, let's say it's 25%. It might, come down to here. Or even, double W or whatever, make a W out of this. I mean, again, just temporarily price action here. Okay. And what happened afterwards? It comes back up. Boom. Right. So imagining the same exact thing happen and then curling back up and then boom. Right. But again, like Manuel said, it has some truth to that, but I don't think Ryan Cohen doing this to, screw over retail and all that stuff. It's more to do with, okay, if they keep, having infinite amount of shares being sold, not yet purchased, then why not, give them the infinite amount of quote unquote dilution to stack that cash? And again, yes, the assumption is that the the money is just going to be sitting there doing nothing. That's the assumption, right? But eventually, that money is not going to just sit there and doing nothing. Okay. Eventually, they're going to make some move. They're not going to tell you tomorrow. I know people are expecting some miracle that Ryan Cohen's going to be going there and tell exactly what's going to happen. No. So just expect, a price coming down again if he doesn't speak anything. If he is just generally saying thank you for being a shareholder. We are, operating profitably, and we will ensure that that shareholder will increase over time. I think that's all he's going to say tomorrow. So you're welcome. So that's what I'm expecting tomorrow, which that doesn't mean anything, right? That doesn't mean that the company doesn't have any value. So you have to look at the value yourself. They already put out a earnings report, so go crazy on it if you want to see more on what is going on, whether you like the numbers or not. If you like the numbers, go ahead, go crazy on the shares. But also too, just understand the convertible notes is not dilutive right now at the moment. So tomorrow we will know more about the price conversion. Again, per $1,000, how many shares are they going to be able to convert into shares later on at the expiration? If it is going to be less than that $2 billion, hopefully they're going to be able to raise $2 billion. So the whole idea is that somebody already bought it, right? Big institutions or some, hedge fund, who knows, right? Maybe the shorters themselves, perhaps, right? Now, the only thing that I'm disappointed on is the fact that it is privately offered to institution and not the retail investor too, right? I would love Ryan Cohen to offer convertible notes to retail investor, or restructure it in such a way that, like MicroStrategy is doing with, Strike or Strife or whatever, right? Let retail play on the debt market as well on the company. Why not? Perhaps again, we're trying to build to that level of certainty and all that stuff. So by using the balance sheets itself to leverage, more and more into offering more shares. So that's the business model. It seems like, and I know like it's not a bad thing, honestly. So again, every single shares that is going to be sold tomorrow to bring the price down, hands down, people are gonna gobble up like crazy. So every time you see the price coming down, right, you're gonna see OBV spike up. Okay, OBV will tell you a story. So let me just see if OBV will show that on the convertible note type. Let's see. I want to see OBV. Oh, okay. Have to pay for this thing? What? That's lame. I didn't have to pay before. I'm kind of a little, short on cash over here. So, but again, if you have a chance to open up a trading view, you're gonna see OBV is going to spike around here. Okay, the same way tomorrow you're gonna see that same thing. But again, just expect. I'm thinking, okay, so right now it's at $25 region here. So if we are able to support that, but again, they retail arbitrage, right? So is it possible that they are egregious enough? If some black swan events happening, I don't know. Again, bond market collapse narrative and all that stuff. Will it ever go down to $18? Like I said, anything's possible, but I'm willing to say that it might follow this trend line over here. Okay, so this trend line happens over here. How many multiple touches, right? So you could say that this is just a wig. Okay, and so what is it right here? So if this trend line doesn't hold up, then let's draw a different trend line. Now there's another trend line here. So that's also going to be the spot too. Could be, right? So around here somewhere. Again, I'm ready. I'm ready to replenish the shares. If it is $20 a share again, right? So be prepared for that one, for the pricing window. That doesn't mean that the company is doing terribly. Yes, that narrative will be pushed out to the media. The media is gonna run wild with it, and they already, didn't give GME any credit for at least, being able to come out ahead, okay? And at the worst quarter. Usually the first quarter is the worst quarter that we have. Now we're turning positive, and so the next quarter is setting up to be the biggest Christmas ever, right? We only have 6 more months until Christmas, so that's not too bad, but the earnings report won't be until March. So expect March Madness. Okay, let's talk about that one. March Madness, right? So be on the lookout for that one. Okay. Now, did it go to the moon? It did not. It's okay. Not disappointed at all. Although, there are some of my closest friend, okay? The friend that I have, closest to my heart. I know. They expected today, obviously, so it didn't happen. Very disappointed for them. But, hey, what can I do? Just have to wait a little bit longer, I guess. Now, let's go through the number real quick. I know I haven't kind of price action, right? Like it's always a point of disappointment when it comes to price action. But now, not enough people are talking about this. Okay, I'm sure the media is gonna hush hush. They've been hush hush about this company for the last 1 year. Okay, and here's the reason why they're hush hush about this company for the last 1 year. I know. Balance sheet doesn't quote unquote matter. Balance sheet doesn't matter. What's matter is the fact that they raise money to add to shareholder equity. Okay, that's mattered for them so much more to the media, right? Because that's the narrative they want to run with. But eventually, it's going to be so glaringly like it's like. Can you imagine? The next 5 years, they're just gonna continue to do this, and then eventually the net income is gonna be $1 billion, and and the revenue just gonna stay here, at 3.5 billion, 3.5 billion, but they make $1 billion in income, net income. So again, net is accounted for the interest payment, right? It's not just straight up operational income. Okay, now, yes, when I said we are positive, we are positive. Why did it report negative? Because they have asset impairment. So again, had they not sold the what is it called? The Canadian stores and all that stuff. But again, as you look at the balance sheets, right, you see that America was the most profitable, while the other rest of the world are, gotten decimated. Okay, because again, the dollar is the strongest currency in the world. So Canadian got the weakest. That's why Ryan Cohen want to sell it, because again, if you are operating a company, doesn't matter where it is, and it's losing money left and right, why continue to operate in that country, right? And so, of course, America is always the best the best country for the companies. There you go. But again, now you cannot say, proper they're not profitable. They are profitable, and so they're coming ahead so much more than people realize. Okay, so I know $24 million is not that much, but when you account for first quarter, usually we lose money, and then and then go from there. You see this like go back in time to see every first quarter. What do you see? You see losses. Okay. Now let's see. 1 second. I'm trying to. Why is this not? That's crazy. Okay. I'm not sure why it's not giving me. Okay, I think I'm gonna shrink it like this. There we go. All right. Goodness. Crazy. Okay, coming back. All right. So I'm looking for a scroll bar to the left here, but it doesn't let me to do that. Not quite sure why. Let's okay. Oh, here we go. Crazy. Okay. So yes, trailing 12 we're positive to the tune of crazy amount of money here, right? And again, that doesn't even including any interest payment and all that stuff. That's why you see $150 million so far is a interest payment from the cash pile that we have. So actually they look at it here, right? We look at it right here. So $200 million just by sitting on cash, right? When people are saying cash is not valuable, yes, cash is valuable in this sense of the word. Yes, I know, I talked about inflation and all that stuff. Some of that is related to that, but at least, when you have cash, you are not eroded by inflation to the tune of 8% a year, okay? Again, real rate of inflation here, not the official amount that they're telling you, 2%. And so when you tell people 2%, right, and then they're like parking money somewhere and have 5%, they feel like they're making money, and that's why there are no riot in the street, because they're like, oh yeah, I mean, at least I get 3% back, right? If you sit in cash. However, what they don't realize is that the real rate of inflation is around 8% a year or 7% a year. MicroStrategy just did a interview with Peterson or whatever, Peter Peterson, and he talked about how the best asset class in the world, the best currency in the world, which is the US dollar, went down in value 99% in the last 100 years. So if you were to do the math, right, it's actually 7% a year. So yes, it's great that the cash on hand that we have generating about 5%, 4% a year at this moment in time. But if the real rate of inflation is 7, then you're actually losing 2% a year, even though you make 5% a year. Does that make sense? So the purchasing power still is diminishing. The only thing that Jimmy could do at the moment is what they're actually doing right now and amplifying it in Bitcoin terms. Okay. So I like the fact that they are not aggressive. I do want them to be aggressive though, but I do like the fact that they are not that aggressive on purchasing Bitcoin as MicroStrategy. I really think that we're gonna do it a lot slower than Michael Saylor does on his company, because again, we have a different business model here. We have our own strategy. So the strategy is to wait and see, raise money when act like we don't have money when we have money, right? That's Larry Chain quote. The best way to act when you have money is as if you don't have money, right? So that's what they're acting like right now, that, hey, since there are demands for these type of notes, let's go ahead and offer them to whoever wants to buy it. If you want if you want out of this company, you have to make deals with Rand Cohen in that sense. Now again, the only thing that I hate about this deal is that it's private. Right? It's only institution gets to participate in this convertible notes. What I would love him to do is offer it to the public as well, right? Yes, offer the notes if you don't want to dilute the float, but at least have retail participated too, because that call option, perpetual call option is very valuable. And imagine if retail was to be able to participate in that as well. Now we would have the bonds, and we would have the equity as well. So it's unfortunate. I mean, is that bad? I don't think so. I mean, again, no matter what angle you look into this, over time, people are going to realize the value that is accrued by those notes, right? And when you say, I'm pretty sure the next run, I already see it on X already. Like some people will say, well, 1.4, 1.5 debt, and people keep saying no debts, right? And so we have to be a little bit careful when we say no debt anymore. We do have debts now. However, those debt are we don't have any expenses in terms of annual expenses for that. So technically it is a 0% debt. And so when you have a 0% debt, that's technically free money there. Okay. So someone offered them, 0% offer them $2 billion, hopefully, right? I'm sure they have a buyer already for those notes, so it's already gone. The next deal would be whoever wants to get out of this company, okay? Or get out of your short position. You have to make a deal with Ryan Cohen on convertible notes next time. And so, again, is that a way out for hedge funds out there that are shorting? Now, if the narrative is this, that the float has been sold for so many time over, just like I said a couple of days ago before earnings, then, MOAS will still happen, but it's going to be a little bit different type of MOAS. It's more stacking, cash in that sense. So, now if the short interest is going to fall because of this, which we saw happen back when they issued the last convertible notes, but eventually it's going to come back up because more and more people are going to be so bearish on this company because of the issuance of convertible note. Perhaps they don't realize that it's not actually dilutive immediately. So they're gonna try to short it and then gonna get burned. So that's retail, yeah, right? Retail who might not understand what a convertible note is. They heard dilution and then boom, right? They short it. Or the same way, people who write covered call that like, oh, the whole portfolio, right? And so they would write covered call in that sense. So, if you make the assumption that Manuel is making right now, of course you're more likely to write a covered call every time at $30, right? So with that, again, like whatever floats your boat, do it. And I really think that after the window, oh, look at this. Whoa. That's crazy, huh? I mean, just to look at the growth in and of itself, it's amazing to me to see how people could be so blinded in that. But again, understandable, right? Understandable. It's something to behold for sure. 400, oh my goodness, look at this. $400 million cash flow positive. So they're gonna do some damage. I'm telling you, within a couple years. I know I said this year is gonna be the year, but the next year is gonna be even crazier. Yeah, even more convertible note, perhaps. Who knows? Instead of 2 billion, it's gonna be 3 billion, 4 billion, 5 billions, and it's just going to continue to go up and up in terms of dilution based on 5 years ahead. And so the floor is just going to keep rising. And while the actual float, hold on, let me see if I see any floats here. It's still 450 floats, right? Hold on. I think this one is probably right here. So the share outstanding would still be around this amount until 5 more years, for the convertible notes to be, well, unless it's traded above a certain price target, right? For 20 trading days, also. So again, the convertible price, it's just going to be higher than it is today. So remember, they sold it for 28 point something, okay? And so if it rise above 30 or 38, I think, for 20 days, then they could convert it right away, okay? They could convert it as soon as possible for the senior note holder. However, it has to trade at that price and stay at that price for 20 days, for 20 trading days. So yeah, be in a lookout for that. And when they are converting straight up shares or getting their money back? So that might create some negative narrative on the stock as well. So there you go. Now, the price target for the analysts out there, you know only one analyst. Let me see, forecast right here. It's still at $13 a share. Can you believe that? Can you believe? They just keep raising their price target, right? Trailing raise of Michael Pachter over here. Lonely one at that. Okay, so very encouraging for sure. I know, I can't say anything about the price target, but or the price point. But as far as like the overall health of the company is becoming more and more robust, and you can't. Like we used to have like a gunshot wound, right? And then now we're healed up and ready to just run, okay? In terms of the balance sheets, I know. We want the price to do the same, but understand the dynamic that is happening right now, you guys. Like there's so many people doing so many different things. Okay, so a lot of market participants out there. that have different ideas about GameStop. So the only thing that you could know for sure is that GameStop is going to do okay, more than okay. And people who cover GameStop will always gonna say disappointing guidance and all that stuff, right? Meme stock, the same exact narrative. AMC, Bed Bath and Beyond, or is it Best Buy? Best Buy right here. Nokia. All of that is going to be in the narrative, and so understand. You might not see that price action momentum tomorrow, but rest assured that no matter what, I think Ryan Cohen is doing the right thing. Because it works. Because it worked, you guys. It worked before. It raised the floor from 10, now 20. We hoped that it held at 30, but eventually that's going to be the floor. $30. Right?